Okay. Okay. Yeah, now we're live. 17 minutes too late. We're live.
Apologize.
17 minutes is acceptable. Okay. Now let's see if we have some sound. Let's see if we can hear Jeroen. Can you listen for me? Can you hear Jeroen?
Yes.
Yeah? Can you also hear me then?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can hear Jeroen. Can you listen for me? Can you hear Jeroen?
Yes. Huh? That's with
No,
the delay.
cannot hear Jeroen. Right? Okay, Jeroen. Sorry. I am listening, but I'm not listening to you. Because the biggest problem I have here is that nobody can hear you, I think. So...
I heard you.
You heard Jeroen?
Yeah.
You did? Okay, can you keep talking, Jeroen? Jeroen, you're not doing the keep talking part here. Yeah, so... Technical issues. Hello, Thomas. I don't think anybody can hear you yet. You or me? Yeah, it's very nice. Nice Christmas tree. You're also on the main screen, my friend. Want me to flip it? Feminist frequency. I'm also not sure. Yeah, maybe it's my feminine frequency. Does it really matter? Jeroen, you're not doing the keep talking part here. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's muted now, but I still don't have your audio. It's really complicated on Mac apparently. So welcome to the stream, guys. We're just having some technical issues. Nobody can hear Jeroen. And Jeroen is a very, very important part of this stream of today, so we can't ignore that problem. So I need to think for 1 second here what I can do. What for Discord? Well, the problem is that I'm doing it on a Mac now, and the Mac cannot record desktop audio with OBS. And you have to do these tricks to make it record desktop audio. So, which really sucks, in other words.
Hello. Well, Mac would have thought, yeah, exactly. That's that number. They won't listen to me. Audio quality is terrible though. Yeah. It sounds like I'm in space. I don't know. No way, you cannot talk in space, never mind. No sound in space, but yeah.
Wait, okay. Can you keep talking, Jeroen?
Yeah, I'll try it.
Now we have both of us. Okay. My God, this is so complicated. I think we have it now. So let's confirm. Can everybody hear us both? First I'm saying something. Jeroen, maybe you can say something now. Jeroen, say something now. Jeroen? Hello?
Hello, hello.
Okay, say something right now. Just say something like a sentence so we can double check.
He doesn't hear you, Carl.
No, he doesn't hear me. How's that possible? Hey, Jeroen, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm just.
Oh, man, you spaced out or what? I'm like freaking out here of settings. I'm like, what the hell? You can't hear me anymore?
Well, no. I was just staring at the stream for some reason, waiting for you to talk. And
Oh
then,
my
like,
God,
these
the
two
stream
color
is...
voices running right through each other, and just not knowing
Business.
who to respond to. But yeah, okay. I'll pause the video and just read chat.
Okay.
Yeah, let's use Skype. Okay.
Okay. Welcome to the
Thanks,
stream,
Scott.
guys. So if you're watching the video, hopefully you just skipped the beginning. You should check the timestamps underneath to skip through the video to different parts of the stream. We're going through a couple of things today. Obviously, the first thing you can see right now is that Jeroen is back in Holland. Have such a comfortable back area or background. I'm also still in Holland, and as you can see, let me do it like this. It's Christmas time, so I have a beautiful Christmas tree behind me. Then we have 4 talking points for today. First, about Jeroen is back. Some small talk about where did Jeroen go, which is China and Taiwan. What did Jeroen do in China and Taiwan? What's the current status of the Wooting keyboard right now, and what's going to happen next, as a conclusion of everything we will share. So I'm going to start off by saying welcome to the stream. I'm really happy we could do this one today. It was a little bit unexpected, a little bit all of a sudden, but we want to keep up our bi-weekly stream. Always share a bit about what's going on, what's happening. Doesn't always involve a game. Like this stream, we'll be talking mostly. But sometimes it involves a game. So, I hear there is a say hi to Yenny. Or maybe Yenny, I don't know what she's doing there, but here she comes.
What is she doing there, Carl? There.
She was recording it. So here is Yenny. So let's start with the first talking point here. Jeroen, welcome back. How does it feel to be back in Holland?
Well, it's alright. It's kind of cold. It's like it's not really freezing, but it feels like it's freezing. Yeah, I missed the food already, and well, it's nice to see everyone again. Saw some friends and family. That's great, but yeah, I mean, in general, I would rather be there, to be honest, because it's just easier to get stuff done. But it's also nice being back home, and looking forward to get like all 3 of us together on Monday tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to
everyone, and that's going to be that was a long time ago since
we're really together, right?
Yeah. When was the last time? I don't even remember. During summer?
I think during summer that would be it. Yeah, I think during summer.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something risky in the meanwhile, because I see I'm covering your face. I am going to flip you. Oh, yeah, flip you the wrong way around. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
No, doesn't work.
Oh, Jeroen, what did you do? How did you do that?
Upside down.
Okay, we got you now, man. See, this is much better.
Okay, this is much better, yeah. You can enjoy the view of my beautiful city in the background.
Yeah. So, for anybody that's new to watching the stream or new to Wooting, and this is the first time you're watching,
This is pretty much how we do it every time.
this is this is what
We
happens
really
every
try
time.
to improve, guys. Trust us. But
Well,
it's also that we're just on the move all the time, so it's kind of, yeah. I mean,
I think every
we don't
time
even have a studio or anything.
every time we have to do a stream, it's trying to like figure out how we get our ghetto setup ready. Because really, either we're all somewhere. There's not like one central place. We're together all the time. We all work remote from each other, so there's this one office that sometimes we come together, but that would exclude me because I would usually be in Taiwan. So to shortly explain, so we're the guys from Wooting. We're totally free guys. This is two of the three. Jeroen on this side here is mainly we always say the engineer guy. I am the business guy, and the third guy is the design guy. That's how we simplify it.
Yep.
So Mr. Engineer here
Hey.
went to Taiwan recently and also to China because if you check out our blog.wooting.nl, we had some issues with the keyboard, and the keyboard is what we're making. It's an analog gaming keyboard. And if you check out, there's somebody just turned on the TV there. So Jeroen is going to share a bit more about how his trip in Taiwan and China was. And let's start with, Jeroen, what was the reason you had to go to Taiwan to start with?
Well, the reason we had to go is what we talked about last time. So we did a trial production. It's like a month ago. I remember, time moves so fast.
Yeah, it's going really fast.
Oh wait,
but
a bit more, 6 weeks ago. And there were some issues with, on one hand, doing the hand thingy here. On one hand, the switch is kind of high. Okay, so on one hand, the switch itself was just not good enough. Well, we felt like it was just not good enough. It was kind of unstable, and it started too late, which we didn't like the experience at all. Secondly, there were some, we call it like mechanical issues, which sort of like introduced instability across the keyboard, where some keys read different values than other keys, which is kind of problematic if you're trying to play a game and different keys feel differently, which ruins the analog experience. So that is why, hey, my stream is pausing for some reason.
Is the stream pausing? Oh, Jenny, can you route a internet cable for me? Internet cable. Yeah, give me an internet cable. The long one.
Yeah.
The long one there at the stairs, yeah. Sorry, I'm going to try and improve the stream quality here by connecting up to the internet here.
Feels like it still works. Anyway, second reason is also because Calder was going to Holland. And because there's so much stuff to improve still, and not having someone in the same time zone as the manufacturer in Taiwan is a pretty big deal, because every communication you do is like, it's a 7-hour difference, so you pretty much can only talk to them when they're at the end of the day. And people at the end of the day are generally tired, don't really want to work, and you just miss out an entire day every time like a small thing needs to happen, like a small decision about, let's say, use your manual paper.
Oh my god, that one.
Postcard paper, stickers, whatever. And just having someone nearby just really helps a lot. So those are main reasons I went to Taiwan myself.
I mean, there's like also this other side of we generally if Jeroen would not go to Taiwan to start with, there would be no pressure. And also, so it's the one is the speed of everything. You're able to look at and hopefully fix, but at least check, look, and give your feedback immediately, no delays.
Yeah.
Plus, you're able to put on the pressure there with everybody involved with our project.
Mm-hmm.
So that was when we went to Taiwan, and we operate the whole project from Taiwan, but we manufacture in China. The company we work with is from Taiwan, but we manufacture in China. So sorry. So let's continue from you went to Taiwan to make sure these two issues went away, which we call the switch issue and the mechanical issue.
Yes. So so what I did first was I brought this this measurement tool where you can sort of like press a key down a certain distance on a 0.1 millimeter precise, so it's pretty precise, and just started measuring a bunch of keys, and just press it down a certain distance, measure the voltage, press it down again. It's pretty boring, but it's also part of the. Okay, it's all over.
No.
We're back.
Yeah. So now we have a better connection. It just flipped out there for a second.
Okay, I think. Are we back?
Yeah, we're
No.
back. We're back. I'm sorry for that, guys. I really had to refresh it there. Otherwise, we would never improve the quality. I didn't know if the stream would go off or not. So.
Okay. I think we're back. So.
Yep. So continue.
Oh, yeah.
Continue,
So
please.
we received a new, better version of the Switch, which was worse. So that was. So I started the whole journey kind of. Oh, no, not really depressed, but yeah. Anyway, it started off bad, but so I did a lot of measurements, and what we found out is that the keys which are unstable are generally around areas where there are screws in the top plate. So basically, if you've seen any of our videos or whatever, we can remove the top plate by removing some screws, and then you can put in another top plate, a customized supply, blah blah blah. But it probably induced some sort of bending somewhere in one of the casings, which probably influenced the whole light bouncing thing, which changed the voltages basically.
Let me clarify that
For
people.
I was just talking like,
Yeah,
okay, it's
so-
probably way too technical, so let's
Basically-
let Connor handle this part.
Yeah, so basically our keyboard, as you might know, analog keyboard, it works on light, meaning we use light to measure the distance that you've pressed the key. In ideal situation, when you press the key, it goes from 0 to 100. But on this keyboard we had, on some places, it didn't press from 0 to 100, but it pressed from 0 to 80, for example. We didn't get the full range of the entire switch for some reason. And we're referring to that problem to the mechanical issue, right? And this is what Jeroen is talking about around the screw areas, particularly the keys didn't get that full 0 to 100 range. It just stopped at 80 when it should be getting the 100, just like the other switches. So that's what we call the mechanical issue. You can read more about that in our latest blog, which it's related to what I talked about, manufacturing tolerances, all the components coming together, tolerances piling up with each other, creating random effects.
Sound and video is not synchronized, which is very annoying. Oh, if I ever see that in a video, I get so pissed. So, so
Uh-oh. Okay, so for who? For me or for you? Okay, so let's see. Is all the video and sound not synchronizing, or? Video is like 3 millisecond delay. Honestly,
It's must be the worst thing we've ever done.
yeah. Oh my god. I'm never going to stream on a Mac anymore. I'm just going to dual boot Windows on this one. I honestly have no idea if I can fix that.
Oh, it's synced. Oh, I'm not. Okay. Which
Oh,
is
yeah,
strange
Win's
because
not.
Skype. Oh,
Add some delay in OBS.
because both the video and audio is through Skype, right?
Yeah, so can you talk? So let me look at you in OBS.
Look at I talk. Let me look at you. Okay. I can just continue the whole story without that. Okay, so the first 2 weeks of the month in Taiwan were spent on like identifying the problem, and when we found out, when we sort of identified what was wrong, at that point, you have to imagine that you're dealing with a Taiwanese or a Taiwanese/Chinese company. So not a lot of people speak English, and there was one guy who's project manager, who was like our contact window into the company, and he speaks English and Chinese fluently. So we pretty much do every communication through him, and he was going to go to China to the factory, and the factory in China is also where the engineering department is located. So we thought it was a good idea for me to go to China as well. But I was in Taiwan, and because China and Taiwan have kind of not a very good relationship, I would say, because of history. Read up on the Chinese Civil War if you ever had the time. It's very interesting. But so basically, there's no Chinese embassy in Taiwan, so I had to go to Hong Kong first to get a visa, and then I was allowed into the great motherland of China. I went to the factory itself, which was pretty cool. I'm sort of writing a blog about it, well, at least trying to. Calder still has to proofread it because he's a way better writer than I am. So
No. Really? No.
well, at least he tries to. No, he's way better. But so yeah, what else?
I'm getting a little bit distracted me while trying to fix some issues.
Yeah.
But it's okay. So you came to a point where you were in Taiwan. You were looking at the issues, and we found out there are these two issues: the mechanical issue, which we just explained, and the switch issue, where the switch manufacturer has to didn't make a really great final switch. It
was terrible.
It was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was crazy because the trial version we received earlier was way better, and so what happens when with the switch manufacturer and most manufacturers, they make a trial version first, and then when it's good enough, they can prepare the tooling, which is what you use to mass produce something. So I guess just molding and stuff. I don't know exactly how it works, but just getting it mass production ready, I guess. And the switches they made mass production ready were just way worse, and just for us it was unacceptable. So going to the switch factory itself was also a reason to go to China, because that is also located in China.
yeah.
So yeah, China was where the magic happens for the keyboard.
And what is very important to know is that in our original plan, we didn't think Jeroen had to go to China, because arranging that kind of trip meant not only for Jeroen having to go to China, but a project manager to go with him, because he can't go there alone. You can't just walk into all the factories just like that and say, "Hey, you guys, I'm one of your customers, and I'm trying to fix this problem here," and without any Chinese, blah blah. So
they probably wouldn't even understand that, because nobody speaks English. So. No.
So we had to arrange the whole trip, and Jeroen had to get a visa. So first Jeroen went to Hong Kong, which we talked about in the last stream. He went to Hong Kong and arranged his visa in Hong Kong to get into China, and arranged this whole trip in China to visit the factories to fix this so annoying problem. So first Jeroen went to our assembly factory. So to explain a little bit how it works with manufacturing the keyboard has many different parts, and every part gets manufactured at a different factory, and then it all comes together at this assembly factory, where apparently we also make where the PCBA also gets made, and there it gets assembled all together in one keyboard. And this is also where the company we work together with operates from, in this assembly factory. So Jeroen went there first, so maybe you can share a bit about your experience at that factory, Jeroen. The assembly factory.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed by the assembly factory, to be honest, because it was very clean, very well organized. It felt like it was very well organized. One of my favorite parts was the SFT production line. And for those of you who are not electrical engineers and are not as enthusiastic about manufacturing as me, it's basically so when we have a circuit board, So the keyboard where all the the electrical components are on, they are all soldered onto the PCB itself. So there's basically a machine which puts all those small parts on, and then it goes like a band through oven, and then it gets tested, and it was all pretty impressive and all what do you call it, like state of the art, very new. And what I also really loved is that it was all done internally. So because with our keyboard there's a lot of everything has to be very precise and use optical components. So it has to be precise, and to have it produced and also tested within the same factory where it is also assembled is a very big plus for me. So that was a nice surprise, and yeah, just walking around and also seeing the production line itself is also because we're also currently thinking about what we want to do for testing during production, because so that's also one part of what we're doing right now. So it also gave me more insight about how we can improve that and make a better keyboard in the end.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one really important part is that after when the assembly happens of the keyboard itself, we need to a lot of steps in between. We need to test if the quality of the keyboard is up to our standards. And these can be very simple things. I mean, sometimes you would have like a faulty piece in the keyboard, and then that makes the whole keyboard faulty. So in between, you check things like pressing all the different keys. But in our case, and this is what Jeroen's been working on also, we test if every key has the analog range that it should be having, and looking at how we can also what's the word again? Oh, calibrate those analog signals over the whole keyboard during the production itself. Actually, Jeroen, I have a small surprise. I have a picture of you.
Picture of me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you okay if I show that one with our
Yeah,
ICs?
yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna switch here. Let's see. Okay, so here we have a picture of Jeroen on this side. There we go.
Is that the one where I'm
Yep.
holding the
So,
components?
yeah. So here we have Jeroen. He was in the assembly factory. I should tell the backstory a bit. You guys remember when we talked about we had to buy new ICs? We had to buy new ICs for this whole new keyboard design.
Suit and hat.
Yeah, we had to buy new ICs for this whole new keyboard design, and we were like anticipating on the trial production to do it as soon as possible. So we already sent some of the old ICs to the factory so they could use it for manufacturing some trial keyboards. And then we didn't use it because we used a different IC. So what you see here is Jeroen found the stock of our ICs in the factory there. Anyway, so after the assembly factory, Jeroen, you went to let me go back to Jeroen here.
I'm making a post on Facebook because we.
Okay.
Never mind. I don't know how this stuff works.
Anyway, so
sorry.
So after the assembly,
yeah, it was sort of a joke. It was supposed to be a joke between us three because we had some issues with this component. What's happening here?
yes. Well, it's a fun picture though.
Sorry,
So
what
I'm
were you talking about?
a fun picture, and I'm happy to show it. So so now we finished the assembly you finished at the assembly factory, and finally it was time. And at the assembly factory, you mainly looked at the mechanical issue also.
Yeah. I had some nice connection with the Chinese engineer because he spoke no English, of course. So we tried to work out a problem together through Google Translate. And I don't know if you ever used Google Translate to translate from English to Chinese or from Chinese to English, but it's terrible. It doesn't work. Trust me, it doesn't work. Especially when you stuff like screws, it translates it to like turning rod or something, and oh man, that was terrible. But we had a good laugh, and and we sort of connected on that part, I guess, because we're both very frustrated about this whole problem. We're trying to fix it, but yeah, it was kind of difficult without having a translator in between. It's pretty frustrating sometimes, honestly. But yeah. Anyway, my time was up at the assembly factory, and then I went to another city in China called Dongguan, or whatever you pronounce it, and that was the city where the Switch factory was located, which was very exciting for us because we had so many issues with the Switch. So one of us going to the Switch factory was just
the most exciting part.
Very exciting, yeah. Because they promised us before we went there that they had a new version of the Switch available, and it was way better than anything we've ever had before.
But they always say this.
They say this every time, by the way. So we went there, and we tested the new Switch, and it was really good. Like, I was just blown away by it. It had a bigger range than before. It was more stable than before. It had everything better than before. Even there was also another small thing. We have this blue Switch as well, and while I was still in Taiwan, I started complaining about the clicky part because it didn't really felt kind of weak, I guess. So we complained about that as well. They fixed that as well, and overall I was pretty impressed. And that's where it also really shows the value. It's just going there yourself and sort of pushing it, because the product manager said that they've been working very hard because they knew it was coming, and they were kind of stressed out, and they finished something which was way better than we had before. So yeah, that was very interesting. And
I think that Monday, that Monday when you shared about the new Switch, like, it was the first day Jeroen arrived at that factory, and at least I know for sure, I don't know about Erik, but I was like so excited I was afraid and excited to know what was going to happen. And what
I was shaking, man, when I was at the factory. I was so nervous.
But when I just talked to Jeroen, and I think the first thing you said was like, it's really good. It's actually, I'm really surprised. It's really good.
At first I was kind of skeptical, like trying to act like the bad guy, like sort of like wiggling it around and sort of pushing, and then I just realized, like, this is actually really good, and then I got very enthusiastic. And I guess that guy was kind of happy to see that as well.
And I think for anybody that's been following us for a while, what this new Switch means is that our old Switch, or let's say the Switch before this one, what we were not too happy with, the trial production Switch, which was okay-ish, started at 1.7 millimeter and ended about, what was it, 3.5 ish. Okay. But this new one, and at that one it still had some issues, that troubleshooting, but this new one starts at 1.5 millimeter and goes all the way down until 3.8 millimeter, which is basically,
it's pretty much the end.
Yeah, which is pretty much until the end.
Yep.
So really, really happy to hear that kind of news on Monday. Finally, over that whole finally done with the whole Switch stuff.
Yeah.
But
Grace, poor girl's pretty happy that we finally had some good news. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know how it goes, right? These moments of happiness or these moments of like relief are just for a split second.
Yeah, they're followed by a bunch of skepticism.
Yeah, because
it's still a trial version, and they still have to do mass production, the tooling for the mass production, which they're gonna finish this week. So very looking forward to it.
Yeah, I guess there's like the danger of if the Switch we were given or Jeroen tested and we have with us right now are going to be the same as the ones that they want to use for the final Switch, the mass production version, and they say they will, and they better be, because otherwise we're not accepting it, obviously, but you just don't know. But let's even if we assume that right now, which should be a normal assumption, that those switches will be exactly the same, there won't be any issue. there is still like this one lingering thing which we didn't think that would hold us back, which is the mechanical issue.
Yeah.
And that's like the new down. I would say the new down. Maybe we can share a bit more about the mechanical issue.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty difficult to talk about because I mean, we know what's wrong, we just don't know what causes it. And I mean, us three, we cannot really influence it all that much because one, it's not our expertise, and it involves a lot of mechanical parts where you just need to know a lot about materials and how they're made in production as well. So it's mostly on the keyboard manufacturer's side, and they're looking into it right now. But it's, yeah, I mean, we're pretty powerless here. It's very frustrating, but yeah.
And I think
should have to wait for new information.
so. To clarify a bit about what the mechanical issue exactly is we don't know the cause yet. So let me start with that. But the result of the mechanical issue is that.
What's the problem? Maybe we should sort of re-summarize what we define as the mechanical issue.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't know. So the mechanical issue, the result is that if we make 10 keyboards, for example, right now maybe 6 or 5 keyboards, will have an issue. And this,
we'll have some unstable keys sort of randomly placed around the keyboard.
Yeah, and this issue is some keys randomly over the keyboard will have a different signal than the other keys. Different signal meaning a normal signal would be from 0 to 100, but those weird keys will go from 0 to like 80 or maybe 70, depending on how serious it is. Mm-hmm. And we could already conclude, number one, it's not the switch, not a broken switch or something, right? We can also conclude it's not a software issue. So it can only be that mechanically meaning all the components of the keyboard, something is randomly influencing it, and the question is kind of like, what is causing it really? Yeah, and that is the mechanical issue, and that's well, Jeroen just
sensor. It can either be the sensor, it can be the LED, it can be one of the maybe difference on the plate. The top plate is also screwed to the bottom plate, so maybe that introduces sort of bending or in the materials or whatever. So it's all kind of there are a lot of things which can influence the signal.
There's already a smart mention also. You mentioned them usually being around the screws of the top plate.
Oh yeah. So that's why we currently suspect it to be an issue where the screwing of the top plate on the bottom case or on the keyboard introduces a bending, which changes the reflection of the light. But yeah, I like how everyone's thinking along. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, if you have an idea, I mean, very often. Because everybody's sharing and talking and thinking with us, we get new perspectives on how to look at a problem. So I would definitely encourage you guys to just jump in, even if you have no idea how things work. Sometimes it's just about perspective.
I like this one. I guess trace line length difference could be affecting it. It's not an electrical issue. Otherwise, that could be the case. But it's purely. No, that wouldn't make such a big difference. No, it's not an antenna or anything.
Let's see, impurities in the lens. Well, this might be interesting. Is with both the infrared and with the sensor, they're already being selected by batch, so they're as similar as possible with each other, so there isn't any variances in between. But still, I mean, who knows? It's the sensor and the infrared that might be like much different from the rest, or faulty or defect.
Yeah,
Not sure.
or also just soldered a bit differently, and which sort of causes the light to reflect differently. It's just, like you said, it's a pretty difficult issue.
Leprechauns. Somebody said it's leprechauns.
So it's
Yeah, leprechauns.
we were lying.
in the
we were
factory.
lying. We know what it is. We know what it is.
So, I think what we can say right now is that originally, like Jeroen just came back, and our original plan would have been, okay, switch issue, no more. I think the switch manufacturer is already able to mass produce the switches this coming week, if I'm right.
Yeah.
So it's very rapid also. And on our original plan would be, okay, let's start manufacturing this month. But with this mechanical issue being introduced, and it's always the same story. Every time you get close to that point where you want to start doing production, a new issue comes up, and of course it's always, for the better to come up right now than once you receive the keyboard and there's an issue. But it always holds you back from finally doing that production. So now we have the mechanical issue, which is the last thing that is just on the table, which we need a solution for before we start mass producing. Because otherwise, when we start mass producing, maybe 400 of the 1,000 keyboards will be faulty, which we need to take out, and never mind, you would accidentally receive it, and we'll have this whole RMA issue that we, of course, don't want to have. In that way, the February delivery date is, and I have to say, I'm sorry, it's very extremely in jeopardy. I don't want to make any official announcement during the stream before we have a better picture of what the situation is going to be, honestly. So you'll hear more about this and what it means for production sooner than later. I think it will be a thing that we'll introduce in January, because you guys should enjoy Christmas. So yeah, we'll be getting back to that subject. And I have to say, is there any questions in the meanwhile about anything?
Yeah, we have kind of strong. Do we have an IR camera to check that the LEDs glow the same intensity? I'm actually gonna double check that next week, because they probably measure it. I think they do, but I'll ask them just to be sure. It's a good idea. I like it.
I see some more suggestions coming up about what could be the issue. A warped top plate. I mean, a warped top plate. Actually, what we should do on our side, this is all fresh also for us, so we haven't had the chance yet. But what we should do on our side, Jeroen, is start playing around with different components that we have, and see if we
tried that already. Yeah.
Oh, okay. With try on a different top plate, try different bottom casing with the same PCB, that kind of stuff. See what the effect is.
Yeah.
So that at least we can narrow down the issues here.
Yeah, I remember trying that, but it was like before we sort of identified all the issues. So I'm not exactly sure what the results were, but I'll try it again.
Yeah.
This is interesting as well, with the idea of the top plate warping being thrown around. That makes me uneasy to the idea that the plate may wear over time from use. This will not actually be a problem, right? If this, I think it will not wear off enough over time to like induce a problem later. What we do see some difficulties with right now is if we want to like do different top plates, that they that they have to be exactly right, or if that even causes the issue. Assuming it even causes the issue, that like custom top plates need to be exactly right to not have any signal differences.
Yeah, I have to say, and on that part, it's kind of scary that there's this kind of issue that we were not familiar with before we started. because of course we have to find the cause of the issue first. But yeah, swapping top plates would be a thing that would come into jeopardy if top plates are the biggest influence factor.
Hmm.
But I do have to say that I've like deassembled my keyboard here for already a few times. It's now deassembled again, and I haven't had the issue. So, or it didn't change the
Yeah,
issue.
same here.
Yeah. So, um, I hope it. We can't like conclude with a give a definite answer like that's never going to be an issue. That's not going to be an issue until we know exactly what the issue is first. But
Yeah.
until so far, we haven't experienced it as an issue.
No, not something that gets introduced over time. It seems to be pretty. Because I measured some keyboard like at the start of my trip to Taiwan, and also later, and it seems similar.
So
Smooth as
see.
a baby's butt. It's smooth as a baby's butt indeed. New cherry. What? Custom. What do you? Are they new cherry switches? Wait.
Yeah, there's like these speed switches. I think
Oh, yeah.
the silver switch or something.
Is it not only like only Corsair can use it, right? What's Corsair?
Jasper says, I can tell from experience, it's as smooth as baby's butt. And I can confirm that because we met up with Jasper not too long ago in Utrecht, and he tried out the keyboard. I don't know, I don't dare to say it's more smooth than Gatoron's because they are known for being the smoothest. And
Yeah.
you hear Jeroen gasping there.
No. I just at the second factory in Dongguan, I also there was this keyboard lying around, and I was sort of pressing in it, and I felt like, hey, this feels very similar to our blue switch. And then I removed some keycaps, see what it was, and it was a Gatoron blue. And then I sort of put them next to each other and sort of started pressing them, and they felt pretty darn similar, really.
Oh,
But,
damn. So we can officially say that, well,
officially,
no, not officially. We can from experience say that,
it's just one keyboard, of course, I've seen, but
yeah, well, okay, we can now from experience say it's more similar to Gatoron switches than it would ever be to cherry switches, right?
the blue one,
The blue,
yeah.
at least, then. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
It's not like the Gatoron Brown. Gatoron Brown is very different, but Gatoron Brown is the next level for me. But,
let's see if we have some more.
I so want the Flare Tech Brown switch, man. It's gonna be insane.
Yeah, that would. Once things are rolling,
Yeah.
brown switch is definitely going to be the next switch.
Yeah.
That we will be pushing. I mean, I don't know if they will make it straight away, but we will be pushing for brown switch for sure.
Yeah, and black ones. But I don't really.
Yeah.
Not that I really
Black
like
might
them, but
be
I think
nice
it'll
for
be
analog. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, there was some more stuff in the chat. Let me see. So if the top plate could be remedied, is it? The thicker and more durable metal being used for the top plate, not like steel, maybe it's thicker aluminum. Yeah, if it is, that might be some of the issues we'll be looking into. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like we said before, it's not that we talk about the top plate a lot because it's just easy to blame, I guess. But we're just not sure if that's the whole.
the
Yeah.
issue.
Last thing we heard is that it was the bottom plate, which is plastic, and there were some parts there that might be slightly off. But yeah, we're just not sure. That's what they told us, but we don't have like a. Yeah. Oh man. Talking about clears, I want to try. I want to make keyboard.
Personally, I really love clears.
To be honest, I haven't tried them yet. I tried the greens, which I really like, but I just don't like the click. So
I'm not a fan of click either. But clears are really nice because they're a little bit heavier.
yeah, that's
and
what
they
I want.
have the bump inside.
Because what I
Yeah.
noticed with Gator and Browns is that you sort of like miss the thicker bumps sometimes.
Yeah, and I noticed also. I remember my first keyboard actually had brown switches. That time was a Ducky keyboard, had brown switches, and if you just come from a membrane keyboard going to mechanical keyboard, if you do cherry browns, or even if you do cherry reds, it's way, way, way too light. um, and I really didn't like the browns at the time. I remember I really had to get used to how light it was. And clears actually are a much better starting switch if you just come from membrane. And for me personally, I just like heavier switch in the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just like to have them. I have this 60% like Keyboard Paradise, and I would like to have them on those because it's very easy to carry around. Yeah. Anyway.
Let me just mention this in between because I really appreciate when somebody says this because it makes me feel like we should keep
that's
doing what
I
we're
just
doing.
wondered.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is from Thomas, who says, I'm looking at the second screen to my right, so that's why I'm turned. Let me do this. By the way, I love how open you are about the production. A lot of Kickstarters just close off and don't tell anything to the community, but you manage the community really well. Now, I really appreciate that. I can't say I don't know if we have managed the community very well because I have to be honest, we're not the most social people in general. But we are very honest and open about everything we do, so we have that going.
Yeah, I think like the first stages, we didn't really share too much in general, but I think like 2 months ago we really started upping the sharing game, I guess, and we get so many positive reactions that.
I think the live streams make a big difference also. Because in live stream it's much easier to talk about the things like are happening right now, as in
Merry Christmas all.
and when we write a blog or make an announcement, we have to like, I always want to make sure 100%, are we sure what we're talking about? Do we know like what is the spectrum of the whole thing before we say anything? Because once you make a blog about it or put it in words online, people either read it wrong or they read it back in the wrong way, and sometimes it can really send the wrong message. So I always want to make sure 100% accurate information first, and do we really know the situation before sharing like the full spectrum of it. And in these live streams, it's just very easy to talk about the issue as it's going because it's not set in stone straight away. Just put it.
And what's
Ashi, you missed everything, Ashi. Welcome.
Yeah. Ergo clears or CDOs are great to type on. Not a big fan for gaming though. I was surprised by how much the string can affect the bump feeling. Yeah, clear CDOs are pretty much whites with new spring. No, I don't remember. Yeah, CDOs were just another switch, a clone of another switch with just a new spring, right?
Oh yeah, I know CDOs. Basically, I don't remember. I think they made it at the same factory as the Gateron switches. I forgot the name of the factory, but it's basically the same thing, but then purple and maybe different springs. But I'm not 100% sure. I haven't tried them yet, so. But I know it's like a guy who made his own switch, basically. So.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. You're PC gamers. You aren't social by definition.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, once we start talking about this stuff, we can talk a lot.
Yeah, I think it's more about when you look at how, if you look at our social platforms, for example, and how actively we're managing it, it's
terrible.
Not actively managed.
Yeah, you know, my mom actually commented about this yesterday. She said, Jeroen, you have to post more on Facebook because I checked yesterday and the last time, the last post was more than 2 weeks ago. It's just not good enough. I was like, okay, Mom. Thanks for thinking along.
We are really trying to up our game though by thinking of, because you should imagine we as persons ourselves, like Jeroen, for example, doesn't have Facebook at all. I don't post anything on Facebook in general. I don't even check it really anymore. And outside of the Wooting page, obviously, for both of us. And Erik is kind of the same story. So, and then you have like Instagram, you have Snapchat, see, I'm already getting on a stop here. Anyway, you have so many different social platforms, and all of them we're not that active on it as a person. So
Yeah.
with the business or with Wooting, it's also very, very hard for us to figure out like how to be active on, like actively think like, oh,
Yeah.
hey, maybe we should post this.
I think we kind of found our. I mean, it's not perfect, but we've kind of found a niche with the whole, with Discord as well. It's still pretty active, which I love.
Yeah.
And these live streams just gives the opportunity to like directly talk to other people.
Oh, I have to give a shout out to everybody from our Discord. Thank you guys for being active on it and talking on it. I really appreciate it, really. Even though
it's great.
you should know that, you should definitely know we are reading almost everything. Sometimes the conversation is too big, but we're reading everything, and I really appreciate you guys being active on it. Really, it feels like a little home also for me sometimes to just look on it and see Manson, for example, saying or mentioning something of equipment, or to see Mr. President showing Black Desert crap again. It's very comforting.
Yeah, there was this whole story about some guy with some sort of dream shit. I haven't read it yet, but I'm gonna read it later.
Okay, let's see.
I have some exciting news. I told you exciting news, right? Are we ready for the exciting news yet?
Okay. Oh, yeah, you have exciting news. Yeah, you said so.
Okay, so this morning, on my trip to Taiwan, I was just reading some stuff from Reddit, and I was reading a blog post from Dolphin, which is a GameCube Wii emulator, and I really wanted to try it out when I got home. So this morning I got the chance, so I downloaded Dolphin, and also Zelda, the Wind Waker.
I feel it coming.
One of my
I feel it
favorite
coming.
games.
I feel it coming.
And I was so excited because I plugged in the Wooting keyboard, I changed some settings, and it worked perfectly. With also with analog and normal keyboard at the same time, because Dolphin has such great. It's an amazing program, and they have the controls set up so perfectly that you just like in Overwatch, where you can just set your analog controls and also your keyboard at the same time and your mouse at the same time. And you can just customize everything, so it works perfectly with a keyboard. And walking around in the Wind Waker with our keyboard, I sort of had this emotional moment, and I was so excited. Because we had this question before about if it worked in emulators, and in Dolphin it does. And there's so many great games to play on the GameCube and Wii. So I'm gonna explore that, and hopefully we didn't get to it this time, but next time we're gonna play some.
You're gonna see some Jeroen speedruns.
We're gonna play Zelda for sure. Yeah.
Maybe we should prepare Zelda then for maybe for the next stream we can show the Dolphin emulation with Zelda then.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool. And on that note, underneath there's a link to a Google survey if you have any feedback for the stream. I don't want to know it about this one, honestly, because I know the beginning was really shitty, and it's not in sync now. But what you can also do is request a game that we should try out with the Wooting One keyboard and show on the stream. So we get most of the inspiration from those suggestions. We pick them up and we show it when we can. So yeah. Okay, so let's see. There is a final question moment here, or a final we can share something moment here, and then I think we have like 15 minutes to go. So these last 15 minutes we can you can ask some more questions, or you can ask us to share something about something, whatever. You can ask anything you want about the topic of today or something else, and otherwise we're closing down in 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Jeroen said, I would be careful about that. Nintendo gets very touchy about their games being on streaming sites without a license from them.
Oh yeah, but you see so many Twitch streams doing Zelda runs, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I figured. So yeah,
Oh,
Nintendo, man, I love Nintendo, I really do. But how they handle other online stuff sometimes is, yeah,
okay. Let's see. Oh, somebody's
we
asking.
have,
By the way, Jeroen,
yeah,
Jasper's asking. By the way, Jeroen, does your keyboard have the updated switches yet?
it does. Yeah, I have 25 reds and 25 blues, so I changed some of them.
And then we have here another thing going. Would it be possible from Thomas? Would it be possible
Oh,
to
face buttons. Is that
wait?
the
Because this is for the
PlayStation
video, I have to say the whole
which
question
is?
here. I have to say the
Oh,
whole
sorry.
question for the video.
Oh yeah,
Would it
sorry.
be possible
Sorry.
to emulate the PlayStation analog face buttons? I know that's not in XPut.
Are so?
Are the face buttons
Oh,
like the
that's what
XO
they have with
triangles?
when the PS3 or 4 was first released. That some keys are analog, right?
I think the right side XO square triangle. They used to be analog on the PlayStation 3, I think, and it worked in Metal Gear Solid, something like that. But I don't think with the new PlayStation 4 it's still analog, is it?
No, I don't think it is. Um, hmm, I'm not
Hmm.
sure. I guess it's really dependent on the game. Maybe we should try it out in emulator. Guess.
Oh, we have some more feedback about the streaming Zelda. Just don't monetize on YouTube as long as it's for free. That's a good point.
Yeah, the emulation might be a problem. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember reading something like that too.
I okay, here we have a new question while people are giving us feedback on those buttons.
Can you stream Nintendo games?
Here, Custom says, can we take a second to discuss the Christmas tree behind Calder? Is it analog?
Oh,
Well, let me tell you.
well,
First thing is, it's not a real one. It's a fake Christmas tree. Meaning that, yeah, I guess it's not analog then. Kinda. It is analog, well, in terms uh, of it being real, no, it's not real. It's fake. It's made of, I don't know, plastic, whatever it is. Looks real though.
at least have a Christmas tree.
Lisa, where's your Christmas tree, Ewan?
Not here. I don't have one.
Okay, let's
I
see.
have a Statue of Liberty. Does that work?
Well, yeah, you should put some Christmas bells on it, maybe. Okay, here we have some feedback about the buttons. X, triangle, square, and O on PS2 are analog. I didn't know it was on the PS2 already. Let's see if this was PS2 and PS3. Oh, PS2 and PS3 had analog triggers and shape buttons, but PS4 does not. So yeah, so that confirms then that PlayStation 4 doesn't have the analog face buttons anymore, just PlayStation 2 and 3. I think they found out that it wasn't really used.
Okay.
Revelation. Google knows all. They Googled it. It's digital. Okay, let's see. There's a big text here. Okay, here. From Diablonar. Okay, sorry. The MX Red is famous for being as light as possible. Would it be possible for you guys to make the red FlareTech as low activation force in the future, or would you have to make a different switch? Well, honestly, we have. Let me put this in full screen. Honestly, we have no control over the FlareTech switches in terms of experience, other than saying that we do have influence on the FlareTech switches. Influence being what we think is good and giving that feedback to them, and in some cases demanding that they make something for us, like we did with the analog and for the bigger analog distance. So I really can't tell if there will be a future switch will be even lighter than the one we have right now, which is the 55 grams activation force. What I can tell you though is that what because you can change the activation point on the switch, and with this new switch you can change it from the 2 millimeters up to the one. Well, I think nearly 1.5. I'm not sure if we can do exactly 1.5. We still need to test it because we haven't tested it with the new switch yet. But theoretically, you can change it to 1.5 millimeter, and at 1.5 millimeter, the activation force is lighter than at 2 millimeter. So, if that counts. Let's see.
Does it?
Yeah, that was the big thing about.
Question? You were sort of quiet after your question mark, so. I wasn't
me?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Well, the conclusion is that you can change the activation point of the switches to 1.5 millimeter, which would also have a lower activation point. I don't know how many grams it is at 1.5 millimeter, but.
Well, I can check for you. I have a graph.
Well, we have a graph.
We have a graph somewhere. Oh shit! I don't know where.
Okay, so let's see. Jesper asked, Calder, are you jealous of Jeroen now? And I'm guessing this is because he has the new switches and I don't. And, well, yeah. But on the other side, I have no PC anymore I have this laptop, I can throw Windows on it, but Jeroen came back. I borrowed his PC in Holland so I could also do some stuff. But Jeroen has it back now, so I have nothing to play on anymore. I'm homeless.
You're homeless?
I'm homeless as in a PC.
Oh yeah, you are homeless. What are you going to do when you go back?
Well, I am literally homeless kind of now too, yeah.
Oh. Well, not as in living in a box homeless, but...
No, but I have no actual home at the moment. We need to find a new home. So... all right. So we have some... I still have the tree in the background, yeah. I'm going to bring this tree with me everywhere. We'll feel like home.
Still your tree.
Okay, so
it's kind of hopeful but sad.
Yeah, I feel more sad about it. Okay, so we have 5 minutes left. We can do a final question here or share something. And we're just cutting it. I mean, we can talk on for ages, honestly, but we really have to stop it at some point. Otherwise, the video gets really long. And I think we did our story like in half an hour or something, right?
I think so, yeah.
Quite fast. So if you have any question, it can be anything that happened, you know, you can try to do something very daring.
Very daring. Jump out of the window.
I see. Was it Archinold? I think that's how I spell it. Says, if it's cold, you can't even burn the tree. Now that you mentioned that. So that's kind of useless to bring the whole tree with me when I'm so alone.
What is your favorite keyboard from the competition? What competition? Sorry, keyboard competition?
What is your favorite keyboard from the game? Oh, right. Well, if we take away analog, right? That's how we should do it. Competition.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Right.
So what would be our favorite keyboard other than our own, or other than or keyboards without analog? You can start, and I think I already know yours.
You know mine?
Yeah.
My favorite keyboard? Yeah, I have the 60% by Keyboard Paradise. I love it. It's just so, wait, I have it right here. Where is it? Right here. This one. This one is my favorite, and the reason I love it is because it's built like fucking brick. Look at this. It's very, very slight blend. It's just so sturdy, and it has Gator and Brown switches, which I like. And what I like about the layout is that you can program your function key here, so you can use the arrow keys with function WASD, and I like it a lot for typing and programming. Not very useful for gaming though. But yeah, it's just and I like the size because I can just throw it in my bag and just take it wherever with my laptop. So
You also
Because I
brought
hate
it. You brought it to
that.
Taiwan, also, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a big benefit on of the 60% keyboards.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah, I think for us it's not
Mhm.
because yeah, I mean the winning one will always be yeah, I mean analog will always be aimed at gaming for now. So I don't think 60% is a good label to go with. But
you ready to get it here from Custom says, Jeroen, you really need to try a custom Korean keyboard with CNC cases. Those things are real bricks. I know what he means, and that is definitely true. But that's with
but are they heavy
aluminum
as well?
casing.
Because it's also really light. That's what.
Doesn't have to be too crazy heavy though. So when it comes to keyboards, for me personally, for example, I like 75% keyboards because I've tried Jeroen's keyboard. I tried 60% keyboards, but the thing that really doesn't rub well with me is that the arrow keys are underneath a function layer, or the arrow keys are with Jeroen's keyboard. You can also choose that the arrow keys are in like Shift, Control, and Windows key, I think, something like that, which is really nice. But I use my right shift, so it's really annoying also. So that's what I don't like. It doesn't rub well with me. I still use my arrow keys a lot for a lot of different things. So I have 75% keyboards on my favorite. And right now, my favorite keyboard, my favorite keyboard to use is a Toper keyboard from Leopold. And I actually have it upstairs. I don't have it downstairs here.
What does the percentage mean? It's basically the size of the keyboard. So a full size is what they call just a regular keyboard, including numpad. What we have is 10 kilos. The Wooting one is 10 kilos, so it misses the numpad. It's what they also call 80%. What Calder referring to with 75% is it still has the arrow keys, but it doesn't have all the function keys. It only have page up and page down, right?
Yeah, well, mine in particular still has like a page up, page and down. No, it still has delete key, for example, and a insert key. I think mine. Don't use the insert key, obviously. Still kind of use the delete key, but don't really need to have it.
Oh, Calder, I cannot stand.
Oh well, Jasper, there's a question. Calder, did you improve in Osu? I have not improved in Osu, and I'm really bad at those kind of games. So don't expect me to improve with it soon.
I think there were a bunch of questions.
Well, okay, I can grab the keyboard. Just give me a sec.
Yeah.
I can grab the keyboard. Then I can also show the percentage a little bit more clear.
Yeah.
In the meanwhile, you can answer a question.
Yeah. Well, I'm reading through it already.
Oh, I think this will be an interesting, a really hot topic. No, we'll do this one maybe after.
Go get your keyboard. I'm reading through the chat.
Okay. Oh, maybe you can do like, did any company like Razer contact you?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you can share about what happened at Computex, for example.
Oh, yeah. Funny. Well, it wasn't that funny, actually. It's not a good story, I guess. But from what we've heard, that I mean, they have heard of us. From what we've heard, we haven't been contacted directly by any of them. I don't really know what they're going to say anyway. But last summer we demoed our keyboard at Computex, and there was this guy from SteelSeries, and he was the lead hardware engineer, and he came to check out our keyboard. And thing is, he started playing around with it a bit, and he was sort of fishing for what our plans were with the whole analog keyboard. And we mentioned that what our goal is as Wooting is, so what most you know is you use this controller emulation to make it work in a game, but what the goal is to have Windows recognized as analog keyboard, so every button can be utilized at the same time. And what our suggestion, or what our current plan still is to make that standard open. We don't want just another closed standard forced down from some company to a game developer or whatever, like what some other companies do. I'm not gonna name anyone, but yeah. And he said basically is that whatever you develop. Well, he didn't really say it like this, but what it came down to is that he said, whatever you guys develop, we're probably not going to use it since we use our own systems anyway. And we have a lot more contacts in the game industry, which is true because we don't really have any contacts because we're still very, very small. That's
Okay.
like sort of how we met bigger companies and sort of have an insight in how they deal and with their stuff, which is I mean in the end it's still a company and it's logical that they do it like this, but yeah, it's kind of sad in a way that we're trying to develop something new and exciting and they basically just say no, we're not going to use it, we're going to use our own stuff anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, that with Steel Series particularly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They closed. They have a very closed system going on. Okay, so I got the
Oh wait,
keyboard.
we have another question. Can you describe how the blue switches feels like? It feels a lot like the Gator blues.
Well,
So a bit smoother than Cherry Mix.
yeah, and about the switches and the feelings, maybe we should make a dedicated video for that because we kind of get the question more often. So we'll think about that. Okay, to finish the previous topic, this is my favorite keyboard as of yet still, and I've tried a couple of different keyboards. These are Toper switches, and this is what we call 75% keyboard, meaning there's no F keys, there's no like this side numpad and everything, and it just had like still the arrows and these two keys.
Yeah.
here.
Oh, interesting fact is with this guy Y208K Hansu. He said, well, there are two other people that I know of trying to make an analog keyboard that is Aimpad and Toper. Their Aimpad's Kickstarter failed and Toper showed off their analog keyboard in 2014. Said it will be for sale in 2016. Haven't heard anything about it for a year. So Toper did another demonstration at Computex this year, and I'm pretty sure they released it, right? Haven't they? Oh
Yeah.
no. They changed it where it wasn't useful for games, but you could change your actuation point, right?
Yeah, so let me elaborate on that question because let me start with Toper. So Toper already released their analog keyboard, but the first thing you should know is that Toper switches in general already have analog inherently in it. The way the hardware works already has analog in it. Let me start with that. So they recently brought out a keyboard. It's already on the market. I think it's like 200 something euros or dollars. Has RGB and everything, and it's analog, but it's limited in the sense of you can change the activation point on the keyboard, and that's what it's limited to. I don't think you can do anything else with it as of yet. So we'll see what their plans are for development. But right off the bat, and this is my first reaction to it is like, oh, to start with, it's really freaking awesome that they finally stepped into the game and opened up analog on their Switch, which is like one of the biggest perks of their Switch in the end. So that's really awesome. But there's this one inherent problem that you'll have is that because the Toper Switch still kind of use a membrane or like they still kind of use a rubber dome for their Switch feel. So with a rubber dome, what happens is when you press down the key, all of a sudden the rubber folds down and it flips back up. So inherently, the Switch will have this problem that when you press it down, it will fold and you will jump all the way down, and when you go back up, it will back up. So you can't really smoothly control the whole key at all. Well, I shouldn't say at all, but it already limits the whole experience of controlling the key. So they need to change the Switch a bit. I don't know. They're smart guys. They'll probably find a way, but they need to improve that part to make it really the analog experience you would want to have, other than change activation point.
I also feel like it's not a very big priority for them, and they also Toper also moves very slow, right?
Toper, yeah, it's a Japanese company and stuff moves slow, basically. Also, working together with them is something that is you really need to build up to the point slowly,
Yeah.
from what I understood. So it's very difficult. And then we get to the second one, and I kind of want to close it with this one, unless there's more other question we feel is relevant, because we're passing the time now.
Oh yeah. Let's do one more. If you ever did an extra numpad keyword, you could use the old microcontrollers for it, right?
Well, I
No.
was thinking about other competitors, but
Oh, I thought you talked about questions, bro.
yeah, no, well, I was just kind of finish this competitor story,
Oh, okay, yeah. Go
and
ahead.
kind of like maybe do like a small question after. So
Yeah.
the second thing he mentioned is about aimpad, and the first thing I have to mention is they are also out there trying to make analog happen, and I think they did a pretty cool job with the keyboard they have, but they have a very hard time, and I don't know why, because we don't know exactly how their technology works, but they have a very hard time to get to the market, and so that's kind of where it ends.
Yeah.
That there's not much more to say about it, because they just can't hit the market at the moment, and I don't know what the issue behind that is, and that's where it ends. So let's see if there's another small question to finish
Another
it off
question
with.
told us, if you ever did an extra numpad keyboard, you could use the old microcontrollers for it, right? No, that's not possible, because the reason we changed the microcontrollers is because the old version we had was not suitable for an update function. So that's the reason we changed it, because it will allow for a more not very fluent, a smoother update. Yeah. So that's why we changed it. So we pretty much cannot use the old ones anymore, because they're just not good enough.
All right.
I think that's it.
That's it, I think.
Laser student Wooting one. Yeah, maybe at one point.
Yep.
There's already a lot of light in it, so.
Okay, then that's it. Oh God, I forgot to make notes during the stream to note when is what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we didn't really keep to the
Usual format, so the ending is just open. Anyway, so if you just joined the stream, or you start halfway, or you want to watch stuff back on YouTube, this becomes a video, and we'll have timestamps in the description below with the video, where you can jump to the different topics that we'll be noting. It will just take.
I think we might have to update the topics a bit, but
at the end we're gonna add them. But it's
or
gonna
those blue.
take a little while
It's
before
not
we
blue.
added them. So, all right. Then I have to say thank you guys very much for joining the stream. I'm really happy to do it again today. Jenny is doing all the festive stuff for the big goodbye.
Big goodbye.
Hopefully,
Christmas miracle.
yeah.
I call this thing as a Christmas song.
Oh, no way. Okay.
So,
So hopefully see you guys in the next stream. As always, every 2 weeks we do a stream. Is the next one is then on Jeroen?
January
25
1.
is January. Is it January 1? Oh yeah.
We'll probably do one in between then. Maybe like 29, 30.
Probably.
Do one, like an end of the year stream.
Yeah, we'll do an end of the year stream probably then.
Man, we should have brought like Christmas hats and stuff.
It's okay, but it's not Christmas yet, so.
Okay.
So see you guys until next stream, and until then.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, everyone. And yeah, talk to you like 2 weeks or so. Hopefully with more news.
I'm already waving. Bye bye.
Are you waving? Okay, I should wave too.
Yeah.